Anyway, if you could please introduce yourselves to our listeners and the role you play in the band.
What's up? I am Mike. I play guitar in the Break Plans.
And I'm Dan, and I play drums in the Break Plans.
So glad you guys can join us. One thing I want to start off the top with, we don't come across this a lot, but we've had a couple other guests mention it when they've come on, where the band kind of forms and you meet members on Craigslist of all places. Could you tell us a little more about how that ended up happening?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty funny. We met, so Colton, the singer, I met on Craigslist, and then I met Dan on Instagram. And yeah, basically, like Colton, our singer, was looking to put together a band, and I was looking for a singer. I had been looking for a singer for a very long time. Like I had given up on music, and I see this advertisement, and we make fun of it because he put like his modeling headshot on the Craigslist ad, and I was like, "What is this?" And I don't know, like Craigslist, like whenever you're looking for like I don't know, like bands or people to play with, it's always like a very weird bunch of music. I don't know, it's like rap metal or like post hardcore, but like jazz. It's just like weird, like stuff, like weird. And then he put like bands I like The Killers, Coldplay was another one. And I was like, wow, like you don't really see like The Killers or Coldplay too much on Craigslist. So I hit him up, and then we linked up, and then about like a year later, I was talking with Dan over here on Instagram, and he was telling me about he was playing a show. What was it, Porch Fest, Dan?
Yes, it was Porch Fest.
Yeah, in Asbury. It's like an outside festival, and he's like, "You should come check out my band." So me and Colton came and checked out his band, and then and then like Colton and I were like, "Do you want to play in our band?" And Dan's like, "Yep," right? Something like that, right?
Well, you
Yeah,
also forgot the part where like Colton didn't want to or was
yeah,
running late as usual, and
hmm
didn't want to, almost didn't make it,
yeah, yeah. So we like, so yeah,
and stole me
basically,
for like 4 hours to go drink.
yeah. So basically, Colton didn't wake up in time, so we almost never met Dan. But I like forced Colton to get up, and we ended up seeing Dan's set. And basically, Dan was playing in a few bands, so it wasn't like he was like leaving another band. He also joined our band. So yeah, so yeah, we kind of met all on the internet and social media and all that good stuff. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, we've had a couple bands on that have met on Craigslist, which is like funny because it's like you don't really think of Craigslist being a thing anymore.
No, no, I don't think I would ever go there ever again. But it's like weird because like I had been trying to do a band for a long time because like my favorite thing in the world about music is like writing songs. You know, playing shows was always kind of like a second, but still you need a band after you write songs. So I always like tried putting together a band. I just could not get guys that were like dedicated. You know, like it was just not really always finding that great bunch of guys that wanted to do it and like go for it. So I had given up, and then what do you know? After you give up, you kind of fall into people that want to do it. So I was kind of sucked back in, and it's awesome, you know.
Yeah,
It's,
that's kind of how it happens sometimes, though. You kind of
yeah,
just took that leap and you were like, you know what? For the hell of it, let me check Craigslist.
yeah, because yeah, I mean, honestly, it's true. And like with Dan, like I wasn't like looking for drummers per se, but I was like, I saw Dan's Instagram page and he was a drummer, and I think I messaged him to like check out our music, the Break Plans, because we had already put out a song, um, and with no drummer. But basically, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like I like your song," and we were kind of like just chatting up on the DMs, right, Dan? And then
Hmm.
yeah, and then you just invited me out, and yeah, so it kind of just all like, I guess if you're not looking for it, sometimes it finds you, you know. So
It all
Yep.
fell into,
yeah,
and and the greatest part is with Mike and Colton is the bands I was playing in at the time were all like businessy is the best way to put it. Like you'd show up to rehearsal, you'd schedule your shows, and you would leave. You'd show up to the shows, you play the show, and you'd leave. The great thing with them was we were able to go out and have a drink. We were able to go out and get dinner. We were going to get we became brothers very quickly is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
huge with playing in a band like this.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. It's great when you get along with someone, right, Chris?
Yeah, we almost get along.
Oh
Uh,
shush.
Yeah, well,
what
same.
you you mentioned you mentioned Dan was in multiple projects. How many did you have going on at once?
Oof. Probably, I think at that point I was in four.
You were doing what, dueling pianos? You were
I was doing a
doing
dueling pianos. I just joined you. I was in another band that is no longer. I was in a cover band. So it was probably about four or five.
Wow.
Dang,
Yeah.
and dueling pianos. I saw that once. I saw some dueling pianos once.
Oh, where'd you go?
Oh, in Milwaukee somewhere.
Oh, I wasn't playing in Milwaukee.
No, I doubt it. And this is
but
years ago.
but I mean, like the one thing I will say is like Dan's like super talented, like as far as like live drummer, like he's like our backbone, like our. And it's funny, like he hams it up there on stage and stuff. But it was great having Dan because I'm not like I don't really look forward that much to playing shows, and it was good having someone that like is all about playing shows. You know what I mean? So like it was cool knowing that Dan was for it. You know?
That's kind of the opposite we hear sometimes, that you don't look forward to playing shows.
Yeah,
Most
I mean,
people love playing shows.
yeah, I could like kind of give her, kind of like go with it or not kind of thing. But I mean, like it is fun playing show, but like I truly like love just like making music. And then obviously part of the whole thing is you got to play shows. So I do it and I go up there and I play and I enjoy it. It's fun, but yeah, it's like not like my favorite thing to do is being in a band, which is funny. I guess maybe you're getting like the deeper workings of the band, but yeah, I mean, it's not like something I love doing, but I do enjoy meeting people at shows, seeing them come out. It's so much fun. And yeah, it's just I guess as I've played more and more, I guess I like it a little bit more than I used to. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that I don't love it as much as people probably would think I do, or I don't know. So
Yeah,
Eh,
I had a friend back in the day that he was in a punk band and he played bass and he said like every time he went on stage, like he never got over the stage fright. And he was like the first show I ever played during our first song, I almost pissed my pants. He was like I just never got over it and he never
yeah.
enjoyed being up on stage, but he liked making music.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's funny. It's like not even stage fright. Like I actually like I'm probably like almost the most calm out of all the guys. Like I used to think Colton was the most calm, but now he ended up becoming like the most nervous before shows. Dan just cares about his drum set being set up right.
No, that is not true.
And
There's
yeah,
more I worry about to that than
yeah, I know.
that.
I'm kidding, but I think it's just I just never found like that love of like performing. I guess like some people do. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like it is fun. It's not like my favorite thing about being in a band, I guess.
your
But
favorite thing is creating the music,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've totally.
writing.
Yeah, I love it.
Mike is one hell of a songwriter.
We
Oh,
can tell.
thanks, Dan. Dan, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
One of the best songwriters I know.
Oh man, now what do you want? Dinner or drinks on me? I
Now
texted him just now to say that. No, I'm
I
kidding.
am curious though. How did you guys come up with the band name? Do you guys break plans a lot? How did you decide on it?
Yeah, like early on, like we couldn't think of a name. This is actually like it's funny, like me and Colton met. And then like the second band practice was let's actually not practice and try to come up with a name. So we had like so just me and Colton basically and like another friend who kind of like played with us for like a few weeks, but he couldn't really do it. So we just kind of had some names thrown in a hat. And very long story short, we had plans that night to go celebrate my birthday. And we had been like kind of like day drinking all day long, and we ended up having a few too many, and we had to kind of break those plans to go celebrate like the birthday. But the name of the break plans was in the mix in the hat, so it kind of like just made sense. Like and it's also from there's a line from this band called The Academy Is. There's a line that says like make plans to break plans, and it was kind of
Yeah.
like an inside joke with me and my friend that was gonna do the band in the beginning, so that was why it was in the mix. And it just kind of like made sense when we had to break plans and not celebrate the birthday because we kind of were like a little too much in, it just kind of fit. Yeah. So yeah.
So your EP though, Mistakes Are a friend of mine. Sorry. I
That's
can't
all right.
read. I can't
That's
read.
okay.
It came out a few months ago, way back in November already. First off, I love the whole record.
Thank you.
How have things been going since releasing that record?
Dan, you want to take that one?
I think you should because I haven't been up on the numbers as much as you have been.
All right, well
I
that's
know you
okay.
keep an eye on that.
No, it's been so all right. So like at first it was kind of like we weren't sure because we were doing like a little bit of a slow release. So before the EP came out, we were dropping a few singles throughout the year, and then when the EP ended up coming out, we had two songs left on the EP come out. So up until that point, we had a nice steady climb. The numbers were pretty good. But then, like when we dropped the EP, we really didn't hear like a whole lot at first, and we're kind of like, "Ooh, like all right." I mean, I get it. Like, I guess like we had a cover on there and then like another song and then like an acoustic song. So people, I guess, heard most of the other songs. But since like January, I don't know like what happened, but like we just been getting like in droves, like people into it. Our numbers are doing really well. Like on Spotify, our numbers have shot up a lot. People have been passing it around by word of mouth, and just getting feedback has been awesome. Like we have a cover of "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" on there, and like I love that song. Like that's like one of my guilty pleasure songs. Like I love it. And when we released that as part of the EP, like we didn't really hear anything about it, and we were like, ooh, we were like, or I was like, I don't know, do people like it? And then like all of a sudden we were getting like DMs and messages like, I love your cover of that song. I love this. And then so it's been really pretty nice actually. Way better than I thought. And it was our first time ever dropping like an album, so we weren't really sure what to expect, but very satisfied.
Yeah. Do you guys have any personal favorites out of the songs on your newest record?
Dan, what's your favorite on the record?
Not what I want. I've said that from the moment I heard that. When they sent me the demo, I said, this one is going to be incredible. Played it for all my family, all my friends before it even like was released. And they're like, and I'd catch them on vacation or just sitting at dinner and they'd be like, not gonna get, I'm like, see, they wrote a catchy hook
Would you
and they
Nice.
say
would not
that's
even realize.
would you say that's your favorite one to play drums for?
Um, yeah,
Eh,
that one in Hell to Pay because they let me stretch a little bit at the end and I kind of could play a little solo-y stuff live.
yeah,
So I think that one's probably my most fun to play live.
yeah. Hella Pay is one of our I won't say older songs, but we reached it a couple of years ago. It's a lot of fun. It's like our like Jersey like rock song. We kind of wrote like this Jersey rock song, and it's a lot of fun. Very heavy on the drums. Probably a lot of fun for Dan.
What about
No.
you?
Oh,
Um, my favorite song on the EP,
Yes.
probably Is This Love? Because I wrote that one like kind of like a couple of years ago actually. Probably was like the first song that I wrote for the EP, and we actually had like a different version of it before that I wasn't super stoked about. So we kind of like re-recorded it more into like the style that we want it to be. And like when I heard it finally turn out to like what I really wanted it to be in my head, I was like, yes, like finally, like the eagle has landed. Like we nailed this one. Yeah. So and that was fun to play live. Like we haven't played it a lot live because we just like released it in whatever it was, like September, October, whatever it was. But then we didn't play a lot of shows up until our release show. So we played a couple of times, and that one has a lot of energy. I guess you would probably agree, right, Dan? Is This Love kind
Oh,
of has some good energy?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
This one has way more energy than when we recorded it the first time.
yeah,
And it was, well, we had also had what, 4.5, almost 5 years to really find our sound in what we wanted for that track.
yeah. Seriously, because that song has been like lingering, like from demo to first version, which we weren't happy with, to then finally finding the right style for it. So that's why, like, it was like almost like it took a lot of effort to make that one. It's almost like fitting what is this square peg in a round hole. Like it
I,
took
I think
it
I
took a
think
long time.
that song really um showed our maturity level when it comes to our sound and our music. Because if you listen to the first one, maybe we'll release that sometime. Mike and I kind of talk about that. If you listen to that one to the one that's on the EP, you can hear that it's got a little bit more energy, a little bit more like grit to it. That's more our sound for that EP and where we're going forward.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean I would say Dan's definitely on point with Not What I Want. Like that song's like fun. Like I like that song, but to play it live is not as like I don't know. It kind of doesn't have the same energy as just Love Live. But they're both good songs. I like them all. I mean,
Hmm.
I love her whole EP. Honestly, it fell together. It came together nicely. Cohesively would be the word, I guess.
Mhm.
Now, Mike, when you're writing and Dan playing drums, where do you feel yourself pulling most of your inspiration and influence from?
Um, that's a good question. I listen to like a lot. Like it's funny like whenever I try to explain it, I just like catchy music, like anything catchy. So I try to like just live in a world of like top 40, like a lot of the bands that I like, you know, anything from like the older Fall Out Boys or like the Starting Line to newer music like the band Camino Knox. I try to like really I try to hear what's going on today with music, but I do pull from a lot of like pop music. Um, I do also like writing to like synth instead of like a guitar, which is kind of funny. So like I would play synth or like piano, but with like a synthesizer organ sound. For some reason, it helps me write better than anything else. But yeah, like just a lot of like pop music. Um, and just trying to think of like what's going on in my life or Dan's life or Colton's life that's like could kind of give me like that idea for like a song, you know. So yeah, I guess if that answers it.
What's the strangest place you've pulled an idea for a song?
H&M fitting dressing room.
You answered that way too quickly.
Because I it's funny because like I always thought about that. Like that was a weird time. That was a weird moment. Yeah, yeah. I heard like this song in the dressing room, but it was just like an instrumental, right? There was no like words or anything. And I was like humming like a melody to it. And I was like, oh crap, I have to go home right away and sing that into my like whatever, you know? Because I think this is like even like before I even had like voice memos or even thought about having a voice memo on my phone. So I remember being like, oh my God. So then I had to like find the song. It was like I was like H&M playlist. I was like H&M this. I couldn't so but I sang it and that kind of gave me inspiration for a song. Yeah.
Did that turn into one of our songs or no?
Yeah, it was Let Go. So it was like one of the first songs
Oh, okay.
we ever
Yeah,
released.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was the chorus. It was like whatever. So let oh da na 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 da da. I was like, oh man. I was like, all right, I got something. So yeah.
A dressing room, a
Yep.
confined space, just like a shower.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like when you're least like thinking about anything, right? Almost like mindless stuff is going on. Like you know, like that's when ideas come. You know, you're just kind of like at ease. You know. Trying on your skinny jeans.
Your H&M skinny jeans. Hey, I bought a lot of skinny jeans from H&M.
That's right. That's
Now,
right.
did those H&M skinny jeans have the button fly?
Mine did
Um,
not.
Probably because they're H&M.
Yeah. I miss the button fly. I'm probably one of the only people that miss the button
Really?
fly.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
You can
It
still get button fly jeans. You just have to buy Levi's.
oh really? They don't have the zipper?
I think
Some of
it's
them.
similar. It depends on the brand, like the style. You can
No.
get button fly jeans though if they're Levi's usually. My husband has some, I think.
Abercrombie has button fly jeans.
There you
They're,
go,
they're ab-
Chris. You can get your button fly jeans.
There's something about walking into Abercrombie when they've got the shirtless mannequins right there. It just
I have.
feels
I don't think they do that anymore.
no.
No, ever since that creepy CEO got fired, I don't think they do that anymore.
The worst thing about Abercrombie is you'd walk in and you would just be hit with cologne and perfume smell. Like, oh man. Like I
You used
feel
to
like
be
I
able
have
to smell it like a quarter mile
yeah,
down the mall. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
No,
Yep,
that's just
Oh.
Bath and Body Works.
it's
oh,
both. Bath and Body Works smelled better at least.
They compete for smell and distance.
That's why they put them at each opposite end of the mall. So it just meets in the middle.
Yeah, that's funny. That's true. That's great.
I just remember my brother used to shop at Hollister because our
Oh,
last name was Hollitz. So he was all like, Hollister, it's
oh,
similar.
nice, nice.
But I'm
That's
like,
funny.
it's not even the same.
Well, Hollister used to be cool because they used to actually promote like pop punk emo music. They used to have like all the
Hmm.
bands play there, you know. it was a place to be. I just actually was like watching YouTube, and somehow I went down the rabbit hole. I found video on YouTube of Fall Out Boy playing their first album at Hollister, and it was awesome just watching. I mean, the quality was horrendous because the phones back then were like awful, but yeah, it was pretty cool seeing like them in Hollister. You know,
Yeah, I just remember the Hot Topic days.
yeah,
I mean, I
The
still go to
creep
Hot Topic every now and then, but
but it was
not
the
very
creepy Hot
often.
Topic.
Yeah, when it was cool.
Yeah.
When it
Dude
was
walked in
cool.
pale, is just in white makeup, pale.
It was the Hot Topic when you can actually like physically like put on the headphones and listen to records or CDs sitting there.
Yes. They
yeah,
don't have
those.
records anymore. Actually, no, I lied. I picked up the new A Day to Remember record from there.
Way to lie.
But it was from behind a counter. I can't like sit there and sift through the records.
Yeah, I wonder if they have it at Barnes and Nobles.
They shut
Probably
our
not.
Barnes and Noble down last
Probably
year.
not. I don't know if you
Mm.
could pick up a Day to Remember at
I'm
a
good.
Barnes and Nobles.
I'm gonna go check around the corner tomorrow morning, and I'll let you know.
Yes, let me know, Chris. Take a picture of it and everything.
Update: they do not have Day to Remember record.
If they do, then Barnes and Nobles is awesome, right?
Yeah, then they're back off the naughty list.
Now I know through Instagram, Mike, that we had talked about 2000s emo nostalgia. Now, compared to the MySpace days, how do you feel social media now influences how DIY and indie artists promote their music?
Wow, that's a heavy question. I feel like it's like a scholarly debate question. um, can you repeat the question? No, I'm kidding. Well, no, it's funny because I was listening to like I think was it John O'Callahan from the Maine, and he was talking about, and even actually Martin Johnson of Boys Like Girls, they were talking about how when they were on MySpace back in the day, they were kind of using it a lot of the same ways that I think bands use Instagram or TikTok now, but they were saying that there was less competition on there, though. There weren't as many bands out there as there are now. So they were saying like how they don't even know how they would compete these days with so many bands because just getting through the traffic of all the artists out there is really tough these days. Um, but I mean, I miss the MySpace days a little bit because I feel like things were more genuine. You know, they weren't like less in your face. I feel like everything now is about content and like trying to appeal to an audience instead of just like showing them like your art. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
like back then there wasn't content. It was just like raw music, you know, like either you liked it or you didn't. Um, so it's really, I think, difficult and it's it's tough because you don't want to come across like too in your face. You don't want to come across too cringy or throwing yourself out there, but like you kind of have to. So it's tough. It's tough these days. But I mean, I think if you're making the right music and you could kind of catch people's ear, they'll pass it on by word of mouth, and they'll see that they'll kind of see through the cracks that you are a good band and worth like sticking around for. I think
Yeah, for sure. I do miss top eights.
yeah. I kind of wish they would bring it back, but then again, I don't know these days if you're allowed to. So,
Probably not.
you
Probably
know,
not. I mean, Instagram did introduce like profile songs.
yeah, which isn't really popping off too
It's
much.
not because it's not that noticeable. MySpace, it was just
Yeah.
like right there and it played right when
Yep.
you went to there. I think on Instagram, you have to go on someone's profile and hit play.
Hmm.
It doesn't
Yes.
automatically play.
Yeah. 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 It's not working out. I think the way they thought, but yeah, it's I don't know. It's like it's just tough social media these days because you always want more, you expect more, you like the whole going viral thing. Like I don't get how that even happens. I really don't.
Well, I think too, in the early days of like MySpace and even early Facebook, bands were all original. No matter what they did, it was an original content because it hasn't been done before. Whereas now there's so many short form platforms. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, TikTok, Vine when that was a thing, where it's so
Fine.
short. Yeah, where it's so short form and everything is so quick that it's hard to find something that's new, original, and will catch people's ear. Because now it's all trends and jumping on a trend, opposed to starting your own trend. which I noticed was Facebook, early Facebook and MySpace.
It's
But
true.
it's crazy. Like average watch time is like less than 3 seconds for people. Like what? If you don't catch them in the first 2.5 seconds, like they're just swipe. It's like crazy. It's crazy.
And it's like, how do you find the best 2 seconds from a 3 minute song that's gonna pop off?
Yep.
I
That's our
don't.
problem, right, Chris?
That is our problem with the podcast. Like our average view time on YouTube for like a full video is 30 seconds. And you're
Yeah,
talking like some of ours will go for 2 hours, some of them are like 40 minutes, whatever. But then we have to trim it down into short form content. And now, exactly the problem that you stated, we have to turn like 2 hours of content into a couple of 30-second segments that people are going to watch 2 to 3 seconds of.
right.
And it's like, how do you trim it down? I,
I don't.
yeah,
I
that's
don't
our
even know.
problem.
Yeah, and I think that's like honestly like 98% of people's problems on social media is that you don't know how to address the engagement because people are just what are they, doom scrolling and but they're not even watching. They're just like trying to see the next hit, you know, of whatever they want. It's tough. It's tough, and that's the thing. There's just so much out there you're competing with now. So it's like cool that you can like promote your band through social media and across the world to people, but you're also competing with everyone else across the world.
Right.
Not
Well,
just in your neighborhood.
that is
Yeah.
why our best TikTok video is still the cat on the dryer.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me ask amongst our small group here. Am I the only one that like even what in the few times that I do keep like scrolling and watching reels or whatever, am I the only one that watches every single one in full as it comes up?
Um,
Sometimes I do, but I
Sometimes if
mean, it's a cute animal, I'll watch it.
it's funny. Like I don't really watch that much reels on Instagram. If anything, like I'll go to the search and just type in like indie band or something to see like what else is going on out there. But I'm a, I guess I'm not really like a consumer of the product as much as I
Yeah,
am trying to be a seller. You know what I mean? Like I really don't pay attention that much other than just trying to get our band out there as much as I can. I don't know. It's kind of maybe it's kind of like a mean or selfish thing, but yeah, I don't really take in as much, I guess,
yeah,
as
maybe.
most people.
Yeah, I don't scroll all terribly much. They might get like 5 to 10 minutes of my day. And Jess, I'm sure you notice when I'm scrolling because you get almost everything I'm looking at. And but no, like it's something maybe it's ever since we did start doing the podcast, like I want to give whatever's coming up my time. I'm like, okay, well, if you've made this and it's come up, I'll watch it, whatever.
Yeah,
And I try to watch the whole thing. Um, but I don't
Yep,
always make it.
I think
me
that's more of a
neither.
creator mindset because you know what goes into it. You know, cutting down a 2 hour video to 30 seconds, what goes into it. So you appreciate it different than somebody that's just doom scrolling and consuming it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
I
That's
will say
fair.
this though, I stopped watching stuff as soon as I realize it's all like probably AI crap.
Yeah,
I'll be
Hmm.
like, "Oh, this poor little squirrel was hurt in the road and this person rescued it." And I'm like, "It's not even the same squirrel in the second video." Like they clipped it together. I'm like, "This is not the same squirrel. I'm done. Bye."
You know what? You know what I just saw because you talked about AI. I saw a meme that had come up on Facebook, and it said, "Kids these days that are growing up around AI will never understand that this picture is real." After Fabio got hit in the face by a goose on a roller coaster, I was like, "Oh man, I remember that."
that's
Kids these
funny.
days will never know who Charlie the Unicorn is.
Candyman Charlie.
We got to keep it going, right? Got to keep it going.
I showed
You have to.
I showed it to Link. He thought it was hilarious, so my 5-year-old approves.
That's funny. That's
It's
good.
a great video. It's the magical Leo Pleridian.
Yep. There's a lot of great stuff back in the day. You got Homestar Runner with strong bad emails.
Yes. Oh my god. That was awesome. Homestar Runner was the best.
It was. Trogdor's still the number one.
I still
The
like
number
Strong
one.
Bad. He
No,
was
it's
just funny.
Trogdor. He did Trogdor where he drew a
Yes,
dragon. That one?
yes.
Yeah. That's the
Uh-huh.
best one still. Burninating the countryside,
I,
burninating the peasants.
I love the when he did the techno and
Yep,
I
yep.
forgot who it was, ate the glow stick.
Yeah, the cheat got grounded for having a light switch rave.
That's right, the cheat ate the glow sticks.
Oh
Yep.
man, we're going down a rabbit hole. What else is there?
Yeah.
Wasn't there? There was Foamy the squirrel. I don't know if you remember
No.
Foamy the squirrel. He's Foamy the insult squirrel. You'll have to
No.
look him up. See,
Yeah.
now I knew too much. I guess I know too much.
What was the other one? Annoying orange.
My hands are bananas.
Yes.
The list could go on, Chris. The list could go
I
on.
can go down to old YouTube.
Gonads and strife. All right, well, keeping with some nostalgia, apparently Napster's trying to make a comeback. Apparently they sold it to someone now for like 200 something million dollars, but they want to turn Napster into a social music platform that prioritizes active fan engagement over passive listening. What do you think of that?
Uh,
What
too
did it
late.
mean?
Yeah, like I don't even get it at this point.
Right?
They're
I was
like,
like, what?
it's like they were early to the party, but now they're like really late to the party. Like I don't even know. Yeah, like I don't think anyone would give that a look. That sounds weird.
Thanks, Lars.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think anyone knows what anyone wants anymore. Like it's just a crapshoot.
It's the luck of the draw.
Yeah,
It's a roll of the dice.
it is.
You never know what someone actually wants to watch on the internet nowadays
like
or
wa-
listen to.
like watching cats on a what is it, a washing machine,
A dryer, yeah.
a dryer. Yeah,
Cats on a dryer.
that's what we've turned into. More entertained by cats on a dryer
I
than
mean, I
by
am very entertained by animal videos, but
yeah.
I don't know. And people getting hurt. But hasn't that always been the thing though? Like America's Funniest Home Videos?
Yeah,
There were animal videos, kids getting hurt. Oh, and kids falling when they do something dopey.
Yep.
yeah.
That was
They're
our
usually good
social
for that.
media back in the day was America's Funniest Home Videos.
Hmm.
And it was only on one night a week.
Yes.
Ah, those were the days.
So is there I'm taking a complete pivot here. Is there a venue you went to growing up that you would love to be able to play?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely one that I know of. Dan, is there one that you dream of playing at all?
Um, there was a venue that I played. It was a real basement DIY spot. It was called the Meat Locker. That was a cool spot.
It's a good
Did you ever
name.
play there, Mike?
No, I never played there. No.
It
Oh,
was it was literally the basement to a restaurant.
okay.
All like punk bands, and it was so much fun.
That's cool.
If you look up the list, it was like all time low hit there when they were still early. Um, who was the other one? There was a couple Jersey bands that went through there when they were still early. My Chemical Romance started
Nice.
two towns over, so they played that all the time. But I think like big venue Starland.
Yeah, Starland's a great venue. Yeah, yeah. There's one in Philly called the Electric Factory, which I think they changed the name to like the Franklin or something Music Hall. But anyway, that's like one that I went to a lot that I always like just dreamt of playing there. It's a huge room. I saw like Fall Out Boy, The Starting Line, My Chemical Romance, Motor City Soundtrack, Boys Night Out. Oh, that was a good show. Yeah, I saw so many bands there, and I always just dreamt of playing there. It's just like a really cool venue, really big room. They have an upper tier that goes around the venue, and then like kind of like the pit and the floor, obviously down low. But it's just a really cool place to see a show, and I think anyone from Philly probably knows the venue. Just it looks like it'd be a great place just to do it.
Yeah, I remember seeing bands in people's basements back in the day, or at VFWs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those were a thing back then. I saw one
Oh
at an
yeah.
old church as well. Church shows.
Church shows. Yeah, well, I believe it. There's a place in Philly, like the First Unitarian or something church. They do shows there. Yeah. Yeah.
Hardcore church shows,
Nice. Nice.
which I'm surprised they allowed, but back in the
Hey,
day,
back in the day, anything goes.
anything went.
Yeah, we had a church venue that was really small, and somebody from the band, the audition, hung upside down on a rafter and damaged the like heating ducts.
Oh no way.
And they were like, "No, we're done with shows."
Oh, the audition. That was a fun band for a while. The audition. Yeah. Well, I just heard that Disturbed. They had a show in Chicago, right? They burned their their fire flames burned the Jordan jerseys hanging or something
Hmm.
in the rafters up in the whatever they call it, the United Center, whatever they had the show at. That's pretty funny.
Oops. Someone didn't
Whoops.
think that setup through,
Yeah, 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 yeah. You would think maybe take the Jordan jersey away, or let's have our fire shoot up into the roof.
right?
There's nothing wrong with pyro. I'm fully expecting that on our tour.
Dan wants flames, drumsticks,
No, just fireworks. Just fireworks.
just fireworks.
Fireworks.
Nice.
Better have some insurance.
Well, if we're getting to the point with fireworks, we're gonna have a pyrotech, not me, lighting fuses.
We'll go on Craigslist and find somebody.
Uh-oh. That could go very wrong.
Looking for a pyro coordinator for our tour. You'll find someone of that
I wonder who you would find is the real question.
on there. I don't. I'm sure you'll find someone.
I don't want to know, to be honest.
That's
You'll be like, "What experience do you have?" And they'll say, "Remember that Walmart that burned down in West Virginia?"
No, yeah.
that was my work.
Oops.
You got the job.
I saw that and I went, I could do this for a living.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Now, talking more about tours, do you guys have a dream tour you would ever put together? Like, who would you go out with that would be a dream to tour with for you guys?
Hmm. That's a great question. There's like a lot. There's like too many bands, but then it's like I don't know. Dan, do you have any in mind? I'm trying to think of a couple.
Dream
Um,
tour? Probably Ban Camino and Knox, to tell you the truth. I think our music is very similar but different. Our fan bases are energetic and into the same music. So I think that would be a fun tour. And they seem like really fun people. Like just watching their behind the scenes videos and stuff like that. Never met them. Wish I did. That'd be super dope.
yeah. Um, I don't know. I still can't think, but I guess like I would go with like the Killers maybe, or the Killers, or I mean, I know Cole would say Coldplay, but I would not want to tour Coldplay.
No.
No, if we ever so lucky, right?
What
But
about
actually,
Boys Like Girls?
Was like Girls would be a fun one, yeah, because Martin
That'd be really
Johnson's
cool.
a pretty cool person. Yeah, I think actually that'd probably be a really good one. Boys Like Girls for sure. It'd be fun. The Killers. Um, who else? Like I know I said Fall Out Boy too, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean the Knox the Van Camino would be a lot of fun because we're all in the same wheelhouse. I feel like as far as music, and I think they seem like good people from what I've seen. Doom scrolling on social media.
No,
Call back to earlier.
I'm just curious. It just kind of popped into my head. We're talking about tours. Did you guys see that All American Rejects are going to tour with Jonas Brothers?
I did not see that.
That looks that looks dope.
Really?
I did join the artist pre-sale list so that I can see how much the prices will gouge me tomorrow morning. But
You have to let me know. I was curious on how much they were
and
going to charge for those tickets.
it's Jonas Brothers, Marshmello, and All American Rejects.
And Boys Like Girls.
And
Boys
Boys
Like
Like
Girls on that
Girls.
bill too.
Wow.
I saw Jonas Brothers at Prudential Center, and they were phenomenal. I would see them again. I just don't know what their prices are going to look like for the stadium tour.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of against going to stadium tours because I feel like I'm so far away with the price point I can afford. So it's like I want to be closer to the show. I'd rather go to a more intimate show.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know. I hear you on that one.
I hate that they do all these stadium tours with bands that you really want to see. It's like, no, no, no. Can you do a smaller show? Can you just headline? Why do you have to be with another band? Can you just headline yourself and play something smaller so I can get closer?
Hmm.
But I understand why they do it, to get exposure to different fan bases and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I
absolutely.
mean, that is a crazy lineup. That is not exactly a lineup you would normally see.
And that's
Well,
going to be a stadium tour, you said, for
Yeah,
sure?
it's
yeah.
all stadiums because they're
Wow.
starting at MetLife in August.
Okay. Wow.
But if you think about that lineup, everybody that's a fan of All American Rejects and Boys Like Girls were fans of the Jonas Brothers at the time. So they're getting that same age group, that same fan base.
Yeah. I mean, I can say I've never really been a huge Joe Bro fan, but
I wasn't until recently. Their new album is very good.
I mean, I'll get into it if it comes on the radio or something, but I don't go out of my way to listen to them.
Waffle House slaps.
Waffle House. Is it about Waffle Houses?
You got to listen to it. I'm not going to spoil it for
Oh,
you.
come on. I like spoilers when it's something like that.
Listen to on that album. Listen to Waffle House and Celebrate.
Okay, well, I'll give her a go. I'll give her a go.
They're both very good tunes.
Yes. Well, I'll check them out. Chris, have you listened to any of it?
Of the new Jonas Brothers, no. I couldn't even told you that there was a new album. I couldn't have told you when their albums came out. I couldn't tell you when they were around. So, no, I just know that there's a Jonas brother that's not in the band that I have heard referred to as the bonus Jonas.
I didn't even know. I didn't listen to any Jonas Brothers until my sister made me go to the concert with her, and then they
Uh-oh,
put
she
on.
turned you.
I'm telling you, well, she didn't. The fact that their band was incredible, like
That's
changed my
that's
entire
so
opinion.
funny.
Yeah, that was one hell of a show. I gotta say, it was awesome.
Now I gotta know, how are you guys feeling about Warped Tour coming back and the bands that are playing?
Good, Mike.
Wish it was a full tour, just like they used to do, but I get it. That's not sustainable. But I mean, I think it's really cool. I mean, there's a lot of really awesome bands coming back around that want to do it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there to see any of those, but I think it's cool. I mean, it was a staple for all summers, so I think them bringing it back, it kind of makes you feel a little bit like nostalgic, and it kind of makes you feel good, that a familiar tour is coming back, so I'm all for it.
Your thoughts, Dan? Any?
I'm bummed they're not getting closer to Jersey.
Yeah, it's true.
If they, because that was always a big thing. It was Warp Tour and Bamboozle up here in Jersey for the emo and that rock scene, and the fact that they're doing Warp Tour in the major cities and not even getting up to this side of Jersey, New York. The furthest they're coming east is what, DC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mike?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
That is
it's
a little
like
weird, actually. That is a little strange. I didn't think about that. Yeah,
that was always a staple, Warp Tour and Bamboozle.
Well,
And they're not
it
even
was always
coming.
a staple in the Midwest to have Warped Tour, but they never brought a date up to the Midwest. That's why I'm flying to Florida.
Hmm. Maybe
Uh,
like next year they'll do more or something like that. Maybe they're trying to get a feeler right now to see like if anybody was going to be all for it.
Yeah, I think that's what Kevin Lyman was saying. He is kind of putting feelers out because
Yeah,
he does want to do the Midwest, and he's like, I haven't forgotten about the Midwest and all that.
yeah,
That hopefully next year they can bring it to the Midwest. And I'm like, you sure
yeah,
as shit better bring it to at least Chicago.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, right, like although Chicago has Lollapalooza, right, but that's not the
mhm.
same as Warped Tour. Warped Tour is way different with a lot of different bands. But yeah, maybe next year they'll do a few more dates. I mean, there's so many bands out there too, so they really could like do like these pop-up festivals right around the country because there's just so many that are coming out of the woodworks. Like I feel like every week there's like another old emo pop punk band back active, you know? So there's probably a big
Well, look,
pull to pull from.
look at when we were young out in Vegas. I think that was
Yeah.
a huge resurgence. They started that, and I don't think they expected to get that many people to go out to the show. And once they saw how many people were still interested and still buying tickets,
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh shit, this is like a thing we can do. Like we could definitely bring this back. These bands are going to start making money again. These bands are going to start playing. People are still interested in this kind of music."
Yeah.
Yep. All their old fans now could get babysitters.
Yes,
You know?
buy shoes with inserts in them.
Yeah.
Hell, some of the people have kids that are old enough they can just bring. I
True.
mean, that's an
That's
expensive
scary, but
ticket, but
yeah,
They could drive their parents to the show and drive them home.
they're the DD.
it's true. Some people probably do have kids that are old enough to drive and could drive them.
Honey, I will buy your ticket if you drive me to the show. Let me have a good time and then you drive me home.
It's a good plan.
Now, you mentioned older emo bands getting back together. Were either of you ever a fan of the band Vanna?
I heard of Vanna, but I know
Yeah.
I was not a fan. I mean, I heard of them, but I don't really remember much at all about Vanna. But no, I guess I just didn't really know them too well, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
they just got back together like
okay,
a little bit ago. I'm
nice.
stoked about that.
That's awesome.
Um, but anyway, I have just a general question. I'm going to call back to us talking about A Day to Remember earlier. They just released their new album. They did it in a completely different way, where they released the physical copy before you could stream it.
Hmm.
How do you feel about that? Do you think like there's a way to go back to doing a physical release like that where demand is high and people buy that album? Maybe they release, a single or two so people get hyped, and then you do a physical release. Or how do you feel about just like this multiple singles and then all of a sudden there's an EP or a full length?
What kind of physical did they release? Was it a CD or was it a
No, it was a
record?
final. It was a
Both. It was
final.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because like back in the day, you would release a CD, then they'd burn it or download it to your computer and put it on Napster, and it'd get out right away real fast. But I guess these days no one does that yet again, right? You know what I mean? Like it's weird. Like you're almost like going backwards and reverse and forwards. But I don't know. I guess in a perfect world, if it works for those bands that have a dedicated audience that want to buy the physical, that's awesome. But I feel like that really doesn't work for a lot of more independent artists. But I like it. I like the idea that we're trying to avoid everyone just going on streaming and listening and then moving on. I really like it, but I think that really only works when you have like that bigger dedicated fan base, um, because like I know from our end of things, like marketing is really tough for like independent artists. But when you have a record label or you have money in the bank for marketing, you can promote it, get word out. Probably a lot easier to do those physical releases that way. Or even have like a label or money in the bank to buy the actual physical, CDs or vinyls. Because I know like for us, it's almost impossible for us to buy vinyls and CDs and pay for marketing for all that. So I think it's good for the bigger bands that want to avoid the streaming, but for someone like us, it's not like really feasible right now. Unfortunately, it's just the world we live in, you know.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned they released a CD back in the day and then you would see it on Napster like a week later.
Yeah.
I remember being at a local show and it was a CD release show, and then a week later I saw them live again, and somebody in the band was stoked to find that their music had been leaked onto LimeWire. They're like, "Oh shit, our music's on LimeWire."
That's
Uh,
funny.
that
That's
was
funny.
Well, then you know you've made it because it was leaked on LimeWire, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting shared.
I
But I
remember
guess
using
yeah.
LimeWire way more than I used Napster.
I use
But LimeWire,
Kaza.
I never even heard of that one. I just remember downloading songs off of LimeWire and hoping it was the right song and listen back. You're like, nope, wrong song. Go back, find another file.
Oh yeah,
You
the
scroll
joys.
through. Yeah. Yep.
I got so many viruses.
Yes.
from doing that. My poor uncle who worked with computers, he was good. He must have got rid of viruses like every few months. I would just download stuff all the time.
Yep. My 1997 desktop computer with
Viruses,
dial-up.
dial up. Oh boy,
Mm-hmm.
they'll never know. They'll never
Kids in
know.
these days, they'll never know.
So I'm
That
going to
was
take, I was
no.
going to say,
I'm sorry. Go, go, go. You're
no,
good.
no, okay. It's a battle. I'm going to take another complete pivot here. So we like to start some controversy in a friendly way. A lot of people are passionate about food, right? So I want to know from each of you, what is one food combination that you enjoy eating, whether it's dipping or eating together in a meal, that other people think is crazy?
Food combination that dipping and eating in a meal. Hmm.
That's a Colton question, and he's not here because he eats
Yeah.
some strange stuff.
So I can give you an example of mine
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
have flipped out about. Taking a McDonald's burger, dipping it in sweet and sour sauce.
Uh, do you ever try dipping it in a hot sauce?
No.
Try dipping it in the hot mustard. That's good.
So there you go, Dan. You created a controversy. Hot. Oh man. I don't know. I don't really. I'm not really a dipper. I
My
don't really.
controversy to
Yeah.
Chris is that I'd like to dip my French fries in barbecue sauce.
Like the McDonald's barbecue sauce.
Just barbecue sauce.
Oh. Oh.
Any barbecue sauce. I
Yeah.
love barbecue sauce.
Yeah. I guess the only thing I started doing recently. I mean, past probably like 5, 7 years was hot sauce with like my home fries when I have breakfast, or like hot sauce with like my omelet. You know, that's kind of like my only thing I can think of is I started adding hot sauce to my breakfast plate.
I thought
So,
of mine where people look at me all funny. Take French fries and dip it in maple syrup.
ugh,
Oh, you say ew until you try it and you go, that is
ugh.
delicious. See, there it is. There's the
Yeah,
controversy.
But
yeah.
French fries and maple syrup.
but I'm gonna I haven't tried it, but I'm gonna back that up with just one thing, although I wholeheartedly disagree with dipping French fries in anything. They have potato pancakes, and you put syrup on potato pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
Or applesauce, which
Yeah.
I don't get.
No, I don't get that either.
Yeah, I wish I could join this. It was like weird. I was trying to think anything that I dip is weird, but I guess not really. Maybe I'm just boring. I don't know.
Is there anything not dip related? That's weird.
Well, I was just trying to think of anything, and I would say that like I don't haven't done this in like years, but I mean honestly, not that far long ago, I used to still buy pear sauce. That was like baby food pear sauce. I loved it, and I would like keep it real cold and eat pear sauce instead of like applesauce. I would eat baby food pear sauce. You know, delicious.
You know what baby food is really good? Now this is going off to those little. Have you seen like those canisters of like I think they call them puffs?
The
They're like
puffs,
Yeah,
yeah, they're star shaped
yeah,
and they
the
just
apple
dissolve
cinnamon
in your mouth.
puffs.
Oh my gosh, those are good.
Oh man, I fed those to my hamsters.
yeah.
My hamsters love those.
Yeah, puffs are delicious.
They love those little star puffs. They go crazy for those. And there's not a lot of sugar in them. So,
Mm-hmm.
dude, no, my friends give me crap sometimes because my grandma's sweet pickle recipe ends up cutting up pickles and putting them in my grilled cheese when I make grilled cheese.
Mm,
Hey,
no,
don't knock it till you rock it. Come on now.
no.
See, you're all
Mm.
giving me that
No.
face.
The worst food experience I've ever had is my wife's grandmother put in green olives into egg salad unbeknownst to me, and I bit into that, and that was horrid.
Olives in general are gross.
Yeah.
This could go on. This conversation could go on forever, man.
You never took the black olives as a kid and put them on your fingers?
No.
Oh, I guess I was weird.
No, that's a pretty normal thing.
Oh, okay.
No, doing that is, I mean, my wife does that, but they say like in every relationship, one person will love olives and one doesn't. I'm the one who does.
My husband loves olives, but only black olives. I don't know. Well,
There you
enough
go.
food talk. we got one last very important final question. What is your favorite dinosaur?
Oof.
I don't know the name of it, but when I watched Jurassic Park, that one where like at the end, like it's like has like this weird thing with like its neck and like I don't know what I don't even know what it's called, but like it like almost like the head gets bigger and then the neck, the skin gets. I don't know, like what I'm
Wait,
talking
can you
about, right?
demonstrate that again,
I
Mike?
can't, but I don't know what it's called. But that damn thing was freaky, so scary looking. When I saw that movie, I was like, oh my god. But yeah, whatever that dinosaur is called, where like the neck, the skin gets bigger and it freaks the hell out of me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
You
one,
know, do you know what it is, Jess? Do you know what that one is?
I don't remember its name, but I know you
Dil-
do.
Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus. I gotta
Yeah.
look it up. Yeah, that thing is creepy. But that, I guess, like if I had a favorite, only because it gave me like nightmares, and I can remember it the most. Yeah.
Is that the one that spits too?
Yeah.
Oh
Spits venom.
god.
But didn't in real life.
Oh okay. Are you
It
all
spit.
dinosaur people?
Chris is way more than me, but I do like a dinosaur.
But real quick, I'm not sure if you know this, but I heard like recently that dinosaurs that what like paleontologists are saying that they don't look how we thought they looked. Like they had like more like bird-like features.
They
Is that
look like
true?
Mhm.
giant birds. They look like giant chickens.
Yeah.
Weird. So weird. So everything we were taught is all wrong. Very, very weird.
Yeah, they give a shout out to that in the first new Jurassic World.
Okay.
And they're talking in the lab and he says to Henry Wu, like, these are monsters, and he's like, well, they would look a lot different if you didn't want me to genetically engineer them. Something along
Mm.
those lines. So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
They probably just look like giant ostriches. Those things
Some
are
of them.
freaky to begin with.
Some of them
Freaky.
probably did. They're just
Damn.
that's what everyone's chickens are in their backyard, of little dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, do you have one?
No. I really don't, I never really got into the whole dinosaur thing. But what about the magical Leopleurodon? Come
You
on,
could be a
throwback to Charlie.
Leopleurodon. Is that like
Okay.
supposed to be a dinosaur?
it is,
Well, it's the
yeah.
throwback. It's from Charlie and the Unicorn. Or
Yeah.
Charlie the Unicorn.
But that is an actual dinosaur.
Yes.
There you
Yeah.
go. So yours
It's a
is a
water dinosaur.
Leopleurodon. So that's the only dinosaur he remembers, and it's from Charlie the Unicorn.
Well, everybody knows a T-Rex,
It's
a
true.
pterodactyl,
Yeah.
Yours
a
isn't basic.
stegosaurus. No. Yeah, mine are just I don't know. I just thought it was pertinent to the conversation from earlier.
No,
What are
it
your
is. It is.
What are your favorite dinosaurs?
Mine is kind of basic. Mine's a Brachiosaurus.
Okay.
And
I'm
It's a
saying
mine,
long neck.
I'm saying okay, like I even know what that is. But
It's a long neck. It's in
okay.
Jurassic Park. It's the one that sneezes on them when they're in
Oh,
the
all
tree.
right, all right, yeah, that's pretty cool.
and mine is the Ankylosaur. It's that armored shell dinosaur with the club tail.
Okay,
Oh, the
yeah,
giant turtle looking thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. See, I'm not that far removed from dinosaurs.
See what we got you thinking now about dinosaurs.
Yeah, I know more than I thought I did.
Look at that. You knew more than you thought.
It's not dinosaur related, but have you guys seen the preview for Death of a Unicorn?
I
no,
saw something pop up on that. I didn't.
It's supposed to be like a monster, like unicorns turned into a monster movie.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that. I've seen the preview for Minecraft movie, and I was all like, "Oh, Jason Momoa's in it."
that's funny.
Jason Momoa and Jack Black.
But I was never really big into Minecraft though, so. But I'll still watch it. I gotta watch all those movies. Eh. Anywho,
Same.
is there anything you guys would like to comment on or say or anything before we cut on out?
No, just thanks so much for having us. This is fun. I mean, I love talking emo. Talking about our band's fun. It was a pleasure. It was awesome to meet you all, and to anyone listening that wants to listen for us or for you guys, we have a lot of dates coming up for shows and a little mini tour in the spring, summer. So just keep on the lookout at anything the break plans.